Hey, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel where we talk all about gentle skincare and sometimes self-care. So if that's your vibe, anytime during the video, please consider hitting subscribe. Today, I'm really excited for this or that battle because I've got two super popular dueling cream essences. Then we're going to head over to a Bifida serum battle. And then I've got two cream to foam cleansers going head to head. I'm really excited to share with you all my thoughts about this or that. So if you're so ready, give the video a big thumbs up and let's jump right in. First up, our dueling cream essences. This is the Dr. Ceuracle Vegan Kombucha Tea Essence versus the May Vegan Blackberry Complex Cream Essence. So let's break down the ingredients. May is claiming their hero ingredients are 5% of blackberry extract and 10% of lotus water. Now, blackberry extract is going to be rich in vitamins, it's going to be rich in antioxidants, and lotus water is great for hydrating the skin and soothing irritation. Now, Dr. Ceuracle is claiming the hero ingredient here is tea, specifically their vegan tea complex, which is made up of 20% of kombucha, fermented tea, and also 58% of green tea water. Now, green tea is also going to be bringing some great vitamins and antioxidant power to the skin. Green tea is also great for helping to fight fine lines and wrinkles, and it's a protective ingredient that helps to fight against UV damage and inflammation. So those are really the main differences in the ingredients list, because if you put them side by side, you'd be shocked to see how similar they are. Really, the base formula, creating the two layers of essence, the hydrating essence and the creamy essence, the base formula here is nearly identical. I mean, we're sharing some really great ingredients here like sodium hyaluronic, glycerin, and ceramide MP, plus centella and fig extract. There is a slight difference here in their moisturizing ingredients for their cream layers. May is using jojoba oil, which is technically not a plant oil. It's actually a plant wax ester, but we do refer to it as jojoba oil. And what it does is it does create some light nourishment for the skin and just a light amount of occlusivity to kind of help seal and hug hydration into the skin. Now, Dr. Ceuracle is using sunflower seed oil, and this oil is rich in omega-6 fatty acid, which is known as the barrier building fatty acid. Now, the textures here are so similar. It was actually really hard for me to decide the differences between the two because they definitely are neck and neck for the experience and the texture that they provide. So May definitely does have a hydrating feel to it. When you mix the cream and the essence together, you get this kind of like slippery hydrating type of essence. It definitely does have some moisturization to it, but it is a little bit more focused on hydration than it is on moisture. It absorbs in the skin really nicely. Maybe if I was being super picky, I'd say there's just like a slight amount of tack on the skin, but really it's not that big of a deal. It's not sticky. It's very, very minimal. But this is something that I think is a little bit heavier, like on the hydrating ingredients for sure, because you can definitely feel that slippery hydration in the texture. Now, the Dr. Ceuracle essence, when you mix these two layers together, you definitely get a feeling that's a little bit more creamy, silky, nourishing. They're definitely leaning a little bit more on the moisturization side without like going overboard on rich, oily, greasy feeling. This definitely still maintains a lightness like May on the skin, but I guess the biggest difference that I'm noticing is that Dr. Ceuracle has a little bit more moisture and nourishment for the skin. It doesn't really have that tack at the end once it's absorbed in the skin. But again, I'm being very, very picky. This is something that most people probably aren't really going to notice or be bothered by. So I was telling you, I was struggling to identify the differences here between the textures. And so I had to go to my good old half and half test where I put Dr. Ceuracle on one half of my face and I put May on the other half of my face and really let it sink in and absorb and really decide what was it doing for my skin. And of course, this is just going to be based on my experience, but I definitely felt that the Dr. Ceuracle side, a little bit more moisture. For my skin, I'm combination, but I do lean more on the dry side, and I have found that my skin does tend to prefer more moisturizing products. So for me, Dr. Ceuracle was a lot more balancing, a lot more comforting and nourishing. And the Mary and May side felt really nice. It did have a balancing effect, but I did feel like my skin was craving just a little bit more from this essence. Maybe a little bit more moisture, maybe a little bit more hug it in kind of feeling to it. I'm not exactly sure what it was, but that was the biggest difference. Dr. Ceuracle made my skin feel balanced, where Mary and May maybe it was a little bit too light for my personal skin. So that again is the difference, where Mary and May just a little bit lighter on the hydrating side, Dr. Ceuracle a little bit more on the moisturizing side. So this or that. And I have to say, you guys have been begging me to do this ever since I put up my short talking about the Mary and May essence. All the comments were like, so when's the this or that coming out? And I was like, it's coming, it's coming. So we're finally here. And I have to say, like, this is kind of a hard decision for sure, but I think I've kind of already answered it. So for me, personally, just for my skin, just Kelly's opinion, the winner is Dr. Ceuracle. Of course it is. You know, it really came down to that half and half face test that really revealed the differences about this product and what, you know, suits my skin just a little bit more. And I have to say that Dr. Ceuracle really does provide more of that moisture, that nourishment, that comfort, that my combination skin leaning on the dry side with, you know, barrier issues from time to time with sensitivity and with dehydration. I think that Dr. Ceuracle just suits my skin better. Like everything in the formulation is just really lining up to really nurture my skin type. And so I think that if you're seeking for more moisture, Dr. Ceuracle is actually going to be the better choice for you, because it definitely does have more of that nourishment to it. It's a silkier, creamier essence that definitely delivers more moisture. But that doesn't make Mary and May a bad product at all. In fact, I actually think that this serves a slightly different audience. And it really just comes down to what you need in your skincare, because I find this to be a lot more hydrating with a little bit of moisture. And that's what some people need. If you're leaning a little bit more on the oily side, or you just don't like super moisturizing products, or sometimes they can feel a little greasy or thick on your skin, you're afraid of overwhelming your skin, but you do want a little bit of moisture, Mary and May is going to be the better choice of the two for you. I really think so. You know, even though these actually look so similar, I mean, side by side, the packaging is like practically the same, right? I mean, the skintertainment value of the two layers of essence, right? Like they're so similar. We saw the ingredients side by side. There's a lot of similarities here, but honestly, those little differences do make a big deal. And so, yeah, Dr. Ceuracle is the right one for my choice. I think if you want more moisture, more nourishment, this is the one for you. Mary and May, if you like a little bit more hydration, which is a little whisper of moisture, this is going to be the better choice for you. All right, let's talk about our Bifida Ferment Serum battle. This is Numbuzin #3 Skin Softening Serum versus Manyo Bifida Complex Ampoule. So let's talk about Bifida Ferment Lysate, because that's the hero ingredient in both of these serums. So Bifida is a probiotic ingredient that promotes a healthy skin microbiome, which in turn promotes a healthy skin barrier. Yeah, these two things actually work in tandem. You really can't have a healthy microbiome without a healthy barrier, or vice versa. They are intimately linked to help, you know, protect your skin. They're their outer defense to protect your skin from environmental stressors, irritants, bacteria, infections, etc., right? So if you're all about healthy skin, if you're all about strong skin, you need to know about this ingredient. But it's not just about strengthening your skin, although it definitely can strengthen up the skin, especially if you're prone to sensitivity and irritation or a weak barrier. This is a great ingredient, but it also has some other benefits like helping with fine lines and wrinkles, skin elasticity. It can also help to brighten up the skin, and it's a great skin hydrator and skin conditioner. So let's look at the ingredients. Numbuzin is using 42% of Bifida ferment, and they're also using 2% of galactomyces ferment, another ingredient that I've talked about on my channel quite a bit. This is a great one for skin health because it's got a lot of vitamins, a lot of hydrating amino acids in it, another ingredient that can promote that really healthy, glowy complexion as well. So these are two ingredients that are going to work really well together to bring you results. Now, Manyo is also using a high amount of Bifida, but they are combining it with other probiotic ingredients to kind of beef up the results. So they're using 90% of what they're calling their Bifida Biome complex. So we have Bifida ferment lysate plus Bifida ferment filtrate. We also have lactobacillus, lactococcus, and Saccharomyces ferments. Other notable ingredients in the Manyo serum include lots of different types of hyaluronic acid, 3 active compounds of centella, copper tripeptide 1, and acetyl hexapeptide 8. So there's a little bit more going on in this formula compared to Numbuzin, which is a little bit more on the minimal side. So let's talk about texture. The Numbuzin serum was really surprising because it wasn't at all what I imagined it to be. It is a milky gel type of serum, and it does have a hydration and kind of like a plumping factor to it, which is something I did expect from a gel type of texture. But what really surprised me about this is there's a moisturizing factor to this, and it's not like, oh, it kind of like balances your skin and it's not greasy. It actually has like almost a whisper of oil in it. Now, there's no oil in the ingredients list. There is some goat milk extract, which is actually a very nourishing, moisturizing type of ingredient. I'm wondering if the moisturization is being contributed in part from some of the goat milk extract. It's just a guess. But either way, this serum, once it gives you that plumping, hydrating feel, once you really start to get it to absorb into your skin, you're going to feel a little whisper of richness. It's really interesting. It's not heavy. It's not greasy. It doesn't feel thick on the skin, but it just has that moisturization, and it actually does leave a little bit of a shine on top of your skin. It's really not a big deal. Anything you put on over it will eliminate the shine. I want to be very clear. It's a very light feeling serum, but I was not expecting that moisture, and I wasn't expecting that finish. So it was a little bit different. Now, Manyo definitely does have that gel-like appearance to it, and in fact, it looks thicker than Numbuzin does, but it actually feels a lot lighter. It has a lot of hydration to it, just a little hint of plumping, but there's not a lot of body to this serum. There's not a thickness. There's no moisture to this at all. There's no finish. There's no shine. There's no tackiness. It's a little bit more of a straightforward type of serum texture that I think is going to suit a variety of skin types. So this or that, and this has been a really hard one, and I think a big reason why for me is because these are 2 totally new products to me, and maybe they just needed more time, but I can't tell a huge difference between the results of these serums. I think they're both really good. They're both actually really, really popular, and I think both of them actually do live up to their hype in their own way for sure. So this is a tough one for me, but I do think a lot of it is going to come down to 2 factors. The first one is the texture, which we just talked about. Numbuzin definitely has a moisturizing factor that I think for some people who are a lot more oily are not going to appreciate. And the second thing that I wanted to point out is just the differences in how they formulated the Bifida, because definitely Numbuzin is taking a little bit more of a minimal approach. They're using a good amount of Bifida, some gentle, soothing ingredients. They are claiming that this serum is really about conditioning the skin, softening it, helping with that glow, helping with the complexion, and then of course with the Bifida helping long-term with skin elasticity and fine lines. Now, Manyo is taking a more complex, multi-layered approach to Bifida. Yes, they're using the ingredient, but they're supporting it with all the other probiotic ingredients that are really going to help to promote a healthy microbiome, which is really the first major benefit that you're going to get from using a Bifida product, right? It's to strengthen the microbiome, which strengthens your barrier, which gives you healthier skin. So I like that they've approached it from a couple of different probiotic angles, if you will. Some of the other benefits of Bifida are skin soothing, skin strengthening, skin elasticity, skin brightening, and I think that they've done a multi-prong approach where they've addressed that with centella. They've got the well-aging peptides in there that can help with fine lines and wrinkles, that can help with elasticity. And I just think that I have personally found that the more complex serums that think about giving you benefits from multiple angles instead of just focusing on just one ingredient to deliver, both have their benefits for sure, but I'm just saying I have found that the more complex serums tend to deliver better results. So I ask again, this or that? I have not answered this question yet. I've kind of been avoiding it because I told you this one was really hard. These are 2 really good serums, and it's really hard for me to just pick one. So, I mean, I'm going to say winner question mark is the Manyo serum. The reason why I'm saying winner question mark is because, like I said, they're both really good. I have found myself grabbing the Manyo a lot more though. I'm not really sure why that is. I don't know if it's because maybe I like the formula a little bit better, although I tend to enjoy the more complex formulations. I have a lot more respect for them, I guess. They're a little bit more exciting when I really dive into the ingredients. So I know that's a bias that I have. Maybe it's the texture because it's just so easy to work into my routine no matter what I'm using. So I'm not really sure, but like my personal preference just seems to be grabbing the Manyo. But I really like Numbuzin too, and that's not to say that this couldn't be the right choice for you. So, ooh, I hate leaving it on like this ambivalent note, but again, it comes down to texture and the ingredients and what you want from your serum. Next up, cream to foam cleansers go head to head. This is the La Roche-Posay Lipikar AP Plus Wash versus the CeraVe cream to foam cleanser. So I've been really liking this innovation in the cleansing field lately of these milky moisturizing cleansers that turn into foam and give you that effective, satisfying clean while still being gentle. I'm not talking about squeaky clean. I'm just talking about an effective, satisfying clean. You know I have sensitive skin. You know it leans on the dry side. You know that I tend to like moisturizing skincare, right? So I do love a good milk cleanser. I do love a gentle, moisturizing, skin respective cleanser, but I have to tell you, I crave bubbles. I crave foam. I crave that foaming cleanser that really makes my skin feel clean and satisfied at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And so this is really kind of the marriage of the best of both worlds, because milk cleansers don't always feel like they rinse off your skin and they don't always feel satisfyingly clean. They just feel really gentle, right? So I love this marriage of two really beautiful worlds. So let's take a quick look at the ingredients, starting with La Roche-Posay. And they're really sticking by their classic combination of glycerin, niacinamide, and shea butter to hydrate, moisturize, and support your skin barrier. CeraVe is also achieving the hydration, moisture, and barrier supportive formula, but they're doing it a little bit differently. So CeraVe's take on this formula includes 3 different types of ceramides plus cholesterol, sodium hyaluronate, and lots of amino acids. So let's talk texture. CeraVe is a milky, runny type of texture, and it really surprised me when I got it onto my skin because based off of the texture, I was expecting it to be really rich, maybe even like oily on the skin, and it's not. It's just creamy. And when I say creamy, I don't mean oily, I don't mean greasy, I don't mean really, really rich. I just mean that like creamy hug of moisture on the skin. It's not greasy, it's not too much. It just really envelops your skin. I feel like when my skin's really dehydrated or dry and I put something like this on my skin, I feel like it just goes into all the little dry areas and just fills my skin with moisture. That's how this feels. It's like that hug of moisture on your skin. When your skin's really dry and irritated, that feels amazing. But as you start to work it a little bit more into your skin, you start to build up this creamy lather on the skin. It's not like super bubbly, but it's a good amount of foam. It really builds up on the skin, and that's where you're getting the cleansing action. This actually works pretty good to remove layers of sunscreen. I've used it on a little bit of light concealer. It's broken that down without a first cleanser pretty effectively. So I would say that this is an effective cleanser for sure. And then when you wash it off of your skin, there's no film. Even though it enveloped your skin with moisture, it doesn't leave a film on the top of your skin. It washes away effortlessly and cleanly. That is so key for me. I don't like a filmy feeling on my skin. It just ruins the rest of your skincare. I feel like it just starts you off on the wrong foot. Now let's talk about La Roche-Posay, because this is actually something I've been using a lot longer than the CeraVe. This is a longtime favorite of mine, but it's definitely a little bit different because you'll see right away in the texture, this actually looks more like a gel type of cleanser. It doesn't really have as much of that creamy milkiness look to it. You can definitely see that this is a hybrid with the formula. But even though it looks like it may not be as moisturizing, it actually really has a moisturization kick to it. And I think that's the shea butter at play. This is a very strong moisturizing ingredient. But again, it's just that little hug of moisture onto your skin without a greasy, oily feel. This doesn't have like a richness to it. It definitely does still play in the realm of a foaming cleanser with a little bit of moisture to it. Not as much as CeraVe, where CeraVe really felt like the hug. The La Roche-Posay is like just like a little, it's like a little pat, you know what I mean? The moisturization level here is actually a little bit less than CeraVe, surprisingly, but it still feels really good and calming when your skin is ailing. I've used this when my skin has been very irritated, and it's been beautiful. But that's definitely the difference. This foams up a little bit more in a traditional manner too. It's not as much of a lather, it's more of a traditional foam. Really effective cleanser. Really makes your skin feel clean. And again, the same as CeraVe, no filminess, rinses away cleanly, super duper satisfying, but so skin respective. So this or that, and this is a really tough one. I really like both of these. I've been using both of these, and I will continue to use both of these. So just know that like me picking a this or that is not me dissing the other product, all right? Okay, so I kind of almost like the CeraVe a little bit better. Now let me tell you why. I think because it's more moisturizing. I think because, and this is me having tried so many skincare products and being familiar with a lot of different textures, I think they've really nailed the full-on milk cleanser texture that also foams and washes away without a film. And I feel like La Roche-Posay really flirts with that a lot, but when you're comparing them side by side, this definitely has more of like a gel type of foamy texture to it. It doesn't have as much of the creaminess that CeraVe has. So just in that respect, when you're thinking about a cream to foam cleanser, I just kind of feel like the concept is better executed by CeraVe just on the texture alone. This is also going to provide a little bit more moisture. So if you're somebody seeking for a cream cleanser and you're expecting a lot of moisture, this is going to deliver it just a little bit better than La Roche-Posay, I think. So all in all, like I think that between the two formulas, I think that the CeraVe, just like I said, executes the concept a little bit better. I don't think that La Roche-Posay is bad. This is still one of my favorite top cleansers. I'm still using it. I'm still loving it. But I think if you want a cleanser that is skin respective, maybe with a little bit of moisture, but you're afraid of cream. Like, you know, cream's not going to feel good on your skin. It's going to feel too thick. It's not going to feel great. You don't need a huge hug of moisture. You just need a pat on the back, right? La Roche-Posay is actually going to be the better texture for you because it feels more like a cleanser that you're familiar with. It has more of that foaming capability to it. It has more of a gel-like feel on the skin instead of a full-on cream feel. Ooh, another this or that in the can. I am always looking for your recommendations for the next episode, so drop all your this or that suggestions in the comments below. Now, if you watched this far and you're not subscribed to my channel yet, hold on. I feel like we have a little bit of a thing going on. Maybe you want to see some more content from me. I would be so honored if you just take a second to hit subscribe. I release a lot of new skincare content throughout the week. I do long form videos like this one, but I also do short. So turn on notifications so you're never out of the loop. I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here with me today. You're the ones who make this channel possible. You are the ones who make this or that possible, and I'm so grateful for you. I hope you are healthy, happy, and safe, and I'll see you in the next video. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.